I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because it just, you know, the new Halo stuff is coming out and it's going to be a callback to old school Bungie Halo. And I don't know. I've just been thinking about how much different Bungie games are. They used to be the only thing I cared about in life. You know, for a long time. For like a solid 10 years, all I gave a shit about was playing Bungie Halo. It's all I cared about. You know, everything else was secondary. Work, girls, whatever, music. It was all secondary. That's how much it fucking hooked me. And I was not the only one by any means, you know. And somehow those first 3 Halos that they made ramped up, and are still played by countless people today. I think back to that Bungie, and I just get fucking sad, man. I saw, and again, like, there's so much of Bungie's DNA built into Marathon and Destiny. You know, even the later Destiny stuff that I don't care as much for, I still enjoyed playing it. It was still fun because it still felt like a Bungie game. Marathon doesn't feel like a Bungie game to me. It feels like something trying to be a Bungie game. And I think that's probably what most people are thinking when they play it. They're expecting a certain feel. And I feel it when I shoot the guns, you know, the hit detection. I've said before, I think that's the only part of the game that really feels Bungie-esque. The only part of the game that feels worthy. Like the map traversal, the UI, the matchmaking experience. I don't know, nothing else feels right. It all feels shaky. And I don't know when the next time I'm going to play it's going to be. I'll definitely put another 10, 20 hours in minimum. Even if I hate it, I'll still do that, you know. Just because. And when they feed content to it, when they do updates and add stuff, I'm sure those will be times where I jump back in and do a little more here and there. I'll never completely stop playing it, but it doesn't feel like Bungie, man. It just doesn't. And that's not like a sudden out of nowhere thing. I feel like that's something that's been brewing slowly over the last like 10 years. Since about 2019, I felt like stuff Bungie does is just kind of shitty. It's not what we're used to seeing out of them. I saw a really, really good video. I'll show it to you guys after this. Somebody made a YouTube video, and it's just all they did was take footage from old Bungie and new Bungie, like video documentary footage, video game trailer stuff. And it's like 10, 12 minutes long, I think, the whole video. And it just goes back and forth between old Bungie of 15, 20 years ago Bungie and Bungie now. And it's so clear what's going on. It explains everything without explaining anything. You know what I mean? There's just been such a culture shift inside that studio that how could it be the same? How could it, you know? It's really good. I kind of forgot about that video. And I don't think I've seen it since Marathon came out. I think that Bungie video came out like a year ago or something that this person made. Oops. Be mad about Dustborn. And I mean, I love that there's people like you, Nate, that love Marathon. I am rooting for the game. Big time. I feel like there's a lot of shitty people that just want it to fail because they're pissed at Bungie. And while I don't necessarily feel that way, I can at least understand why they feel that way. Bungie's just, I don't know, man. They're not Bungie anymore. But yeah. Yeah, check this out. Let me find it real quick. I'm glad this got brought up because I always meant to watch this video on stream with you guys, but I kind of forgot about it. And I don't like spreading negativity about studios that mean a lot to me. Yeah, here it is. This is it. So this is a 12-minute video. And watch what they did. It's crazy. It's crazy how much this video says without actually, I don't think there's any narration or anything like that. Watch this.
It felt a little like a love letter at times. We really thought about bringing that forward to the weapons. Like Kvostov, it's the first gun you get. There has to be the narrative bookends of the first gun I got in the game. It's here in the Pale Heart. It's like this old friend returned. Help! Yeah. And we pepper in the number 7 in as many places as we could. So it bounces 7 times. It's got a bunch of 7s in its stat. You get 7 bouncy bullets when you pick up an orb of power. Bungie has a long legacy
so this is modern
of loving the number
Bungie,
7,
right?
And this felt like the right place for it.
Hi, I'm Luke from Bungie.
And I'm Shishka.
And today we're here to talk about July 7th, Bungie Day.
Yeah, Cold Storage.
It's 15 years ago,
a remake
Bungie.
of Halo Combat
18 years
Evolved
ago.
map Chill Out, available on Xbox Live Marketplace for
200 points!
It's free, moron. It's a thank you to our fans for being oh so supportive.
How cool would it be if on Bungie Day, Microsoft decided to lower the price of the Legendary map pack from 800 points to 600 points?
What do you know? That's what they're gonna do.
Isn't that neat, kids?
Bungie announced in a tweet they were increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver. So when you buy $10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's just short of the amount needed to buy a new expansion. So to buy an individual season, you need to purchase $15 worth of silver. And guess what? You thought a $5 increase was bad? Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20.
It's a satisfying feeling. What is this going to enable me to do? What did I win? What ability? How's this going to look?
As you can see, there's a big, like, I guess it's a solar farm. That's what I'm going with. Big solar farm, right? If you turn around at spawn and look out in the distance, if you were to boot up D2 and come to the moon, you will notice that the solar farm is gone.
You have those eerie colors, the lamp at the top swaying, changing the shadows in the room. The same area in D2 looks like this.
Yeah, I'm glad they. I'll be honest. Take it from me. Everyone thinks they're a weapons expert. I'm constantly reminded how little I know about. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you're feeling all kinds of things looking at this shit. But this part, like, I'll be honest, the loot box stuff never really aggravated me all that much. Because, I mean, I put fucking thousands of hours into both Destinies. I think I did like 1,000 hours in Destiny 1. And then probably around 2,000 in Destiny 2. So, I mean, a game that I put that much fucking of my life into, I don't give a shit if it's $5 or $12 or whatever. Like, that part didn't really bother me. I'll take their point of how they placed things systematically to gouge people's wallets, and that wasn't very Bungie-esque. They certainly never used to do stuff like that. But I never really faulted them with that, per se. I always kind of attributed that back to like Activision or Sony or whichever publisher that they were getting squashed under at the time. But this stuff right here that they're talking about, like Destiny 1, going back to Destiny 1, this stuff right here, the solar farm that he's looking at. I used to fucking love this shit in the first Destiny. I am such an abandoned porn nerd. I love the idea of forgotten technology just sitting somewhere that human beings used to exist inside of and flutter around in all day long, and then suddenly they're gone. You know, time capsule kind of stuff. And the first Destiny was loaded with that shit. Anywhere you went, especially the moon and especially old Russia, you know, with the planes and the satellite arrays and all this stuff that you could just kind of explore and walk around. I loved that shit. The first game had that on lockdown. And when they started bringing things forward into D2, I noticed this. I'm like, suddenly all that lore is kind of toned down.
Yes,
right?
It's a solar farm. That's what I'm going with.
You know, like, look at that, dude. He's looking at meteorites flying across the sky.
As you can see, there's a big, like, I guess it's a solar farm. That's what I'm going with. Big solar farm, right?
I loved this. I would zoom in and look, and they had like old shuttle launch bays and stuff. Moon's haunted.
If you turn around at spawn and
I
look
loved
at
it,
the
man.
distance,
I loved
if
it.
you were to boot up D2 and come to the moon,
And then when you get back, I mean, you have like better looking rocks and texture in certain spots, but other spots it was like really bland looking. It just felt half-assed in a lot of ways. I thought maybe they just didn't care as much when it came to that, preserving all those little details. But I'm glad I remember watching this and being like, I'm so glad they mentioned this.
Colors.
Because like I remember when this map came out and all the Dreadnought stuff came out in Destiny 1, I was blown away by that. It was such a different direction than anything I'd seen in that game yet. And it looked great.
The lamp at the top
looked
swaying,
fucking great.
Changing the shadows in the room. The same area in D2 looks like this.
And I think this is actually a spot from the moon when you go down and you're in the what you call it. But the Dreadnought stuff that never came to the Destiny 2 to my knowledge, but the old tower, all the little details of ships docking and stuff. None of that's in D2. And when you go into the I'll just let the video do its thing. Sorry.
It's really not just one department creating something special. When you see all those things combined in the iteration and the back and forth, and when you get to this end result where it just feels like it couldn't be any other way, we hit on something amazing here.
I don't think anybody in this world has ever done anything worthwhile without being their own worst critic. I think that, I mean, especially when you
It's
talk
from the
about
Halo
any
2 vid
creative
doc.
enterprise.
This is like 2003.
If you somehow believe that what you're doing is the greatest thing ever all the time, it's absolutely not going to be the greatest thing ever.
I think my favorite absolutely is the Thrillodrome. It is an
nu-Dusty,
arcade lost sector,
nu-Bungie.
and I think we can relate to spending our days in a sticky arcade playing games with our buddies.
I'm also so excited for people to see the puka pond with all of the pukas that have been
more
like
puka,
such a
please.
mystery since Beyond
That's what
Light.
the game needs.
You've got to build it, you got to play it, you got to say, it's not good, let's try it again.
Every step of the way, you know, I'm going, is this fun? Is it exciting?
As we get toward the end of the project, we're just making smaller changes, tweaking how much damage something does.
We have to make sure that the doorways are the right size.
How's the cover playing out?
We're the ones that have to wire it all up and make it work and make it fun.
Just a little more sped up, I think.
And ultimately, you might have an encounter that plays great.
Jump off there. Jump off here. You should be able to land.
so close to making that jump. That's awesome.
Sometimes you stumble on it, sometimes you plan for it, but the most important thing is when you recognize it, that you covet it and that you keep it.
The shipping game is always an approximation of the
that's
perfect vision. I like not having to be the one who decides when I have to stop, because I would never stop if I had any choice. And then the game would slip and then we'd all get fired. And even then I wouldn't want to stop.
We were created for this moment, to deal with this conflict, to solve for this enemy.
What the hell happens when evil finally arrives and confronts the traveler?
What is that thing?
Dude looks like Megamind.
Greed, pure and simple. Cashed it in, sold our souls, came out here. I mean, if you're gonna sell your soul, Seattle's a pretty nice place to do it.
The Flood is out, an unstoppable parasite that's capable of wiping out all life in the universe.
All of the halos are primed and ready to fire.
Oh, and you left that woman that you care about? Yeah, you left her in the clutches of the grave mine.
Chief, I can't. It's not safe.
Cortana, nice job.
Cortana is giving us cryptic messages.
Could you sacrifice me to complete your mission? Could you watch me die?
The Cloud Striders, bottom line, are cool.
Osiris and Rohan can go process their differences over some fermented tea or whatever.
Sorry, no, they're not.
We're off to go protect the people of Neo Moon.
Fucking cringe and
We're
weird.
taking this very seriously. We're not asking to work shorter days. We're asking to work as hard as we're working right now, but just 2 weeks.
It's an amazing thing to be part of. That many people want something so bad that they're willing to spend that, that time and that effort 7 days a week.
As much of a death march as Halo 2 was, we got to the end of it, and there's a bunch of seeds there that are exciting and really fed the rest of the trilogy.
We started doing this because we were doing Crunch, and we're like, yeah, everybody starts eating the free food.
He's the reason why we have the weigh-in. He was a biscuit away.
Estimated body fat, and estimated lean body weight.
I've weighed myself for years.
Yeah,
Or do you go to the bathroom, take a massive dump, you're like, this will compensate.
Sometimes that saves 2 pounds, who knows?
And so if we release an expansion with 2 raids, let's say, next year, our community is going to be upset if we go back to only 1 raid. Sometimes we have to tell them, like, we shouldn't ship this because it's an over-delivery that is going to set us up for failure.
We had this big 3-4-story building in Bellevue, Washington. Had an elevator that went down to the parking garage. And one night I got into the elevator to go home. This is, I bet you, 2 months before I was fired. This other guy got in and I said, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Are you new at Bungie?" And he goes, "Oh no, I've been working here for about 1.5 years." And I remember thinking, "Oh, goodness sakes, somebody's been working here 1.5 years and I don't even know them." And he says, "Do you work at Bungie? What do you do?" And I thought, oh, okay, that's the way it is now. Like, I don't know him and he doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about, what I've contributed in the past. And I really, at that moment, I thought, yeah, I think that side of Bungie is now, that book is closed.
The art style of Marathon is graphic realism.
It's something fresh and sort of uncharted territory.
Yep. Thanks, Joe. And hey, everyone. I'm Joe Cross, franchise art director of Marathon. And wanted to take a minute to talk about some of the events from yesterday. It came to our attention that an artist who worked on Marathon in the early stages of pre-production took a number of graphic elements from a graphic designer without permission or acknowledgement and placed them on a decal sheet that was then checked in.
More than anything, more important even than quality, a live service is about being fast. And a fast game will become great. But a great, slow game will very quickly fall behind.
The difference between entertainment that's successful and entertainment that's forgotten is only how people react to it. So no matter how successful we were on Halo 2, it doesn't matter how hard you worked, and they don't give a if it took you 2 seconds or 6 years and 20 gallons of blood.
Why does this even exist?
Man.
It's just like a random corner.
That's so fucking good. Like putting those 2 segments back to back. I mean, this whole thing is very back and forth, as you can tell. That's just the format. It's just Bungie contradicting themselves today with, the things that made them great and made them Bungie. But this one in particular, where this dickhead is sounding off at GDC about what people want to see in their games. They want it to be fast, 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 you know? No, they fucking don't. Your publisher wants it to be fast, fast, fast. Your publisher wants it. Feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them. That's how you get fucking slop.
Quality.
This guy's wanting, like, I'm just going to play this part again.
Graphic designer without permission or acknowledgement.
I hate this fucking
and
guy,
place them on a decal sheet that was then checked in.
Not him.
More than anything, more important even than quality, a live service is about being fast.
More important even than quality is lots and lots of fucking stuff fast. That's what we want. It's the literal fucking opposite of that. That's the opposite of the truth. This is a fucking piece of shit lying scumbag up there saying the opposite of reality to try and, like, I don't know, indoctrinate people. Pretend that they're not doing what they're doing. I don't even know. And then listen to what Old Bungie says right after this.
And a fast game will become great. But a great, slow game will very quickly fall behind.
The difference between entertainment that's successful and entertainment that's forgotten is only how people react to it. So no matter how successful we were on Halo 2, it doesn't matter how hard you worked, and they don't give a shit if it took you 2 seconds or 6 years and 20 gallons of blood.
Why does this even exist? It's just like a random corner of the map that
so
has
good.
this thing.
Like, yeah, what is this thing? What the fuck? I've seen indie games that have less jank than this.
This is one of the things that's going to set apart Halo 3 from Halo 2. Just the sheer number of tufts of weeds and grass to sort of help them blend into the ground and the terrain. I know that if there's one at a place, like when the game ships, every time I run by that in multiplayer, I'll see that one blade of grass and I'll be very upset.
So it brings you over here, and if you just step down here, you can see right through the terrain. Beautiful.
This is something a little bit more important.
The story that we're trying to tell has higher stakes. Whether we can do that, we won't know until that thing's in people's hands and they're playing.
First trust, then retention, then revenue. They were sticking around in all of our online communities with these megaphones shouting to everyone to avoid this game because it sucked. So we focused a lot of our early work on trying to repair our reputation with our players and our community. Not because our designers believed these were the most important root causes to our engagement
let's fix our
issues,
reputation.
but because
That's what
there were
matters.
vocal pain points in the community, and addressing them quickly would clearly indicate that we were listening.
We only want to do right by these people because they are a conduit to profit.
That's a quote from that guy.
We needed something that challenges and inspires all of us. Something that I think has enough ideas in it that'll last us for the next 10 years.
We are blazing a ton of new trails.
We're building something alive. It has a nature that we don't totally control. Things are going to happen that we don't plan, and that's amazing.
The best thing about Bungie is, even though you have these crazy ideas, you know that they're going to get funneled into a game that's fun.
We're creating something completely new, and it's a scary place, but if it's not scary, then it's not going to be good. We all have a ton of passion, and we all have just enough crazy to pull this off.
We didn't even know how big Halo was going to get. How can anything be bigger than Halo? We'll find out.
Oh yeah, this is really good right here. This sums it up. This sums it up right here. How can anything be bigger than Halo? They changed their motto, their studio motto at some point. See? That's the old one.
And this picture is old and grainy because it's an old picture I actually found on my cell phone, because we took down that motto a little while after D2 launch. And our new studio motto, this is a more recent picture, is we create worlds that inspire friendship.
That says it all right there. That says it all right there. The old motto, we make games we want to play. That's it. All they cared about was the quality, right? And you could tell. You could tell. You look at the old footage, and it's just a bunch of sweaty dudes, nerds sweating it up, hours on end, addicted to the product that they're developing in real time, right? And that addiction fuels their passion, and that passion fuels that addiction, and then we get a product a few years later that people still play 25 fucking years later. That's all they thought about, and you could tell. They just made games that they want to play, and they resonated with tens of millions of people. And then what happens? They shift their focus to agenda-driven development. Because that's not just a stupid fucking statement and a stupid fucking approach to make games. Because that problem solves itself if you make something that's fun to play. If you make something that is genuinely fun to play and people get addicted to because it's such a fucking great game and it keeps you coming back, they'll want to play it with other people. They'll be online meeting people and playing with their friends, playing with their family. They will be immersed in this community. I have friendships today that are 20 years old because of Halo 2 or Halo 3. I created so many friendships because of that. And they weren't even going for that, right? But at a certain point, you let in the wrong kind of people for too long. And you go from this right here.
2 weeks.
You go from this environment where people are
The free food.
putting their weight and body fat into spreadsheets. This is like straight out of fucking grandma's boy that we're looking at right here. Right? That's why everyone loves that movie so much, because it hits certain nails right on the head. You know, you go from that to, you go from that environment to this shit, to HR committees. And it'd be so heckin' cool if we put fucking more flowers in here and shit. What if we make worlds to inspire friendships? Like they're fucking saving the rainforest or some shit. Like the whole game is just meant to facilitate a fucking group hug. Like, you are what you think about. And if they're thinking about that, if they're thinking about how can we make things inclusive and progressive and super friendly so that everyone's friendly and blah, 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 and no one's feelings ever get hurt ever about anything ever, and these guys are just so cool, and look how cool they are, and they're also quirky, and that's cool and fun. And it's like, yeah, or you could get back to sweaty fucking dorks and their whiteboards and their spreadsheets and their graphs, and they're playing this fucking instance 1,000 times, not just because they want to make it better, but because they can't fucking stop playing it because it's so fucking fun to play. It's so fucking great to play. I can't wait to put this in the hands of everybody. Oh my God, it'd be so cool if we did this. Oh my God, that would be so fun. That's how Bungie used to think. And that is perfectly represented in this old quote. Right? It's just such a good video. Whoever made this just nailed it. They literally just let Bungie talk this whole time. And they hit everything. They hit everything from the watered down path forward in Destiny to the things that got lost along the way between the old school glory days of them making Halo, being the up and comer, selling consoles for Xbox because their game was so damn good. It just makes you, I'm the weapons person. I'm going to make weapons. What if we put 7s everywhere? Like,
I can't trust you anymore. It's not safe.
Cortana.
I just miss it, man. It makes me sad. So this is all like in a nutshell how I've been, I don't know, like just let down, I guess, by the launch of Marathon. Because I was like, you know, this is a really good chance for Bungie to kind of get out of this rut that they put themselves in with all the woke crap. Because they went way too far with that, man. They got shredded alive with that tweet at the Latinx and the pronoun crap. And just like, dude, just give it a fucking rest. You're ruining everything. They're not the only ones, though. That's the problem, is like, that's what I was saying. Like, I think every studio is super nervous because they've all been doing the same thing for the last 10, 15 years, right? They've all been hiring these people. Yeah, come on in. Make us more inclusive. Make us more popular with the people that feel left out. Why wouldn't you want that? But they didn't know who they were bringing in. They didn't understand that they were putting all of this at risk by permanently fucking up the culture that made it great in the first place. And that's what they've done. And you can see it, you can feel it in the games when you play it. Like, there's elements that are still there that you can feel. Like I said, the hit detection. There's certain aspects that they got so right for so long that they're almost permanently, irreversibly good. Can't fuck it up. But, you know, the stuff that gets stacked on top of those foundational things, they ruin it. They ruin it. You know, but in the plagiarism stuff, that really rubbed me the wrong way. You know, that was disappointing. I thought it was just a one-off thing, and then when it happened, I started talking about it. People started pointing out, like, no, this has actually happened a few times before. And that goes back to hiring shitty people that are intellectually lazy, that aren't actually creative. They just want to tell people what to do. They just want to latch onto something popular. They just want to hitch their wagon to the greatness that was built by people that actually had talent and passion and skill. But don't make me work more than 40 hours, man. No. That'll trigger my anxiety. Deadlines make me nervous. You know, we need to get back to the dude sweat days. Let the dudes sweat, bro. Come on. Let the nerdy guys ruin a few t-shirts permanently with their BO, okay? Just a couple of 80-hour weeks. Just, you know, just this once, I promise. Just for this grind to the deadline. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. You think any of those Bungie guys from the old days, or the rare guys that made GoldenEye in a fucking barn out in the middle of English countryside, regret clocking 80 hours on a week a few times in that last month to get the game out, or to add that last second thing that they came up with way too late? Fuck no. They look back with pride on that. And we made that a bad thing to strive for. We started punishing people that want to push themselves and rewarding people who want to cry. And surprise, surprise, it takes 7 years to develop a game now. When it comes out, it's only 80% done. Weird how that works. All right, rant over. I just thought that Bungie video, whoever made that just nailed it. They nailed it. Whoever made that, I would love to buy them a beer.